Now see, Jimmy V became the head coach of the North Carolina State Wolfpack in 1980. And this gentleman was amazing. Great speaker, very authentic, just, you know, he was Italian, I think, from Jersey, and very just had a lot of energy. He gets down to his first meeting, he walks in, he tells his team, hasn't even met them yet, and says, we're going to win the national championship. Now this team, these guys are 18, 19, 20-year-olds. They're all giggling, they're laughing. They're like, has this guy been doing, you know, drinking? What is this guy on? How are we going to win the national championship? We've never won anything. We haven't had a winning season. We've never been to a conference championship. We've never been to the Final Four, Sweet 16. We've never done any of this. What is he talking about? That was his vision. So to get them to buy into that vision, he got them to put the basketballs down 1 day per year. They walked into the gym, and he turned up the crowd noise, got them to put each other on each other's neck, and they went down to the goal, and they chopped down, or they cut down the net like they just won the national championship. These kids were like, this is kind of weird, but we'll do it. They interviewed these gentlemen 30 years later. They said that was the most impactful exercise we've ever done. He got us to see past our hand. We didn't believe that we were winners. We didn't believe that we could play with the best. 1983, ladies and gentlemen, 3 years later, they won the national championship. And they all went back to that exercise. See, once you have a vision, once you see it, then that's the direction that you go. But when it's cloudy, it's foggy, we don't know where our vision's at, guess what? Then that's when we let the negativity take place. See, that's why when I see the most successful people or successful leaders within their organizations, they have that vision. They share their vision with their staff. And then they sit down with their staff and share with them, where do they play a role within that vision? See, all of those players, ladies and gentlemen, none of them were NBA material. I think one or two went on to the NBA. But they beat Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon, all the big names back then. But these gentlemen went on to be successful business owners and things of that nature. See, there's a reason, ladies and gentlemen, why the windshield is much larger than the rearview mirror. We don't drive our cars backwards. We shouldn't drive our lives backwards. We must always have a positive vision. I know this gentleman's going to be talking to you about goals. Make sure that you pay attention to that. We must have goals. We must have them written down. We must have a plan. That's our plan of action. That is our blueprint to our success. And the people that I know that have that blueprint, are y'all familiar with the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey? I got to meet him in Dallas. One of the favorite quotes or favorite chapters that I told him that I loved is begin with the end in mind. When you have your vision, you know, no matter who your team is, you know, where do NFL teams want to be by the end of the year? Super Bowl. No coach goes in there and says, well, hey, let's get to the first round of the playoffs and get knocked out. You know, any team, any sports. But the best thing to do is go back to your staff next week when you get back or whenever you get back and sit down and think about, where do you want to take your company? Where do you want to be in a year, 5 years? Where do they play a role? What are their responsibilities? What is your responsibility? You keep them energized. You keep them inspired. I'm telling you, if you do that, that's where the power of positivity comes into play. That's where the positive attitude is kicked in gear. But I notice that the leaders that don't do that, they're the ones that fail. They're the ones that can't keep people. They're the ones that are not hiring the right people. And they're the ones that just do not make it. Now, another thing that keeps us from that vision. It's a 4-letter word and it starts with F, and please watch it. What is it? Fear. What does fear stand for? The acronym. False evidence appearing real, or my favorite acronym is forget everything and run, okay? And a lot of times we do that. We have a big project, we have something that we're not used to, but fear is real, ladies and gentlemen. Fear has stopped more people from being successful. They say that the cemeteries throughout the world are the richest lands in the world because so many people died with their dream in their mind. They never went forward with that song, never went forward with their book, never went forward building that business because they let some negative comment, word, person, event, circumstance, challenge, whatever it may be, hold them back. I share with you today, do not let that happen to any one of you. Whatever you have is a vision, a goal, a dream, wherever you want to take your business, your personal, professional lives, plug in the positive attitude and crank up WPOS.